Aloha and hello out there, everybody. What's going on, all my hockey fans? This is the Five for Fighting podcast, brought to you by Too Close to Call with your co-hosts, Miho and Pags. Pags, what's going on, my brother?
I'm super pumped for these Western and Eastern Conference finals. There's something about playoff hockey that just so much fun to watch.
You know what, Pags? Let's make you feel good about yourself here, shall we? Why don't we start in the Western Conference? Let's start.
Everybody praise me.
Round of applause for Pags because he finally hit on a couple of his fucking picks here.
3 for 4 in the semis.
Let's go. We had the St. Louis Blues and the Dallas Stars going at it. He took the Blues. I took the Stars. And after 7 games and 60 minutes, it was still not decided who the fuck the better team was.
Yo, that was a hell of a Game 7. That first overtime was so nuts. There were so many shots that could have went in. Our buddy Braden Shen almost ended it. Hell of a save by the Stars goalie. And then you throw the puck towards the net, and eventually it goes in. And that's what happened in the second overtime for the Blues.
Imagine if that was the Flyers, dude. We would have had a heart attack. I would have probably been dead from a stroke in a Game 7 overtime situation.
Oh, my goodness. It was hard enough a couple years ago when the Bruins went up 3-0, and then we scored 4 goals.
That was 9 years ago, Pags.
Holy shit! We have sucked for a long time.
Long time, dude. But your St. Louis Blues move on, like you mentioned, Braden Shen as well as Craig Berube, our old coach. Moving on to the conference finals, man. Apparently he's a good coach now all of a sudden.
This is becoming a common theme in the Five for Fighting podcast is you want to succeed, go to the Flyers, and then leave the Flyers, and you're bound to succeed.
The locals are not happy about it, and they are rooting for your other pick out of the West, which was the San Jose Sharks, who also advanced in 7 games after Colorado won an overtime game in Game 6 to make it go the distance.
Yeah, you talked about the NBA not having many overtimes, and they go and give you 3 in a weekend. Well, the NHL's like, here's a handful of them for you.
Hey, here's a Game 7 multiple overtime affair, so suck on that, NBA.
Well, dude, that's what I say about playoff hockey is overtime is so intense because there's one goal, that game's over, and it's crazy.
One mistake and you're going home.
It's unlike any sport.
Golden goal, except for there's fucking shots all the time, so it's insane, man. There's just, you can't sit down the entire time because one mistake and the puck's in the back of the net and you're going home.
Who are you rooting for out of this Western Conference? Because me personally, I could care less. I want either of these teams to win it all.
So the San Jose Sharks, Pacific's number 2 versus the St. Louis Blues, Central number 3. So both underdogs here. And like I mentioned, Braden Shen, Craig Berube in St. Louis. I'm not anti-X-Flyers winning, but I'm also not pro-X-Flyers winning. So honestly, my rooting interest will probably lie with the Sharks just ever so much over the Blues.
You talked about the Boston sweep, but then you get San Jose, Oakland area if the Warriors win it, and then you're like, well, there's 2 for that fucking place. And then you got St. Louis who won 1 million times with the Cardinals, and you're like, oh my gosh, all these cities just getting more championships.
More championships. And you touched on it, man, since our last pod. The Boston Bruins have advanced past the Columbus Blue Jackets. That one went 6 games with the Bruins winning the last 3 after being down 2-1. It was pretty impressive to watch. A couple of wins on the road for the Bruins there.
Ohio teams just did not show up. I think it was 0-0 after the first period, and then the Bruins scored 3 goals in like 4 minutes. It was like, well, this series is over.
We'll see. Boston's moving on, and it is the Bruins, who were the second team in the Atlantic, versus Carolina, who was a wild card number 1. And I believe we're both rooting for Carolina in this situation.
Yeah, I'll root for them. Rob Brindamore, obviously the head coach of the Hurricanes, ex-Flyer. Let's just keep the theme going. But I can't stand Boston. So, yeah, go Hurricanes.
Go Hurricanes. And look at that, Pags. We got a bunch of number 2s, a wild card, a number 3. And in the NBA, we're staring at 1 versus 2 and 1 versus 2. What do you think about that? Are you more of a fan of the top dogs making it, or do you like the chaos that has kind of been the postseason here?
The chaos is fun. I tend to like seeing the better teams play. Sure, the Cinderella is great and all, and when it's your team, obviously, it's awesome when they go against the odds and make something happen, but I'm more the best teams are the best teams, and I want to see the best play the best.
So it's an interesting take because I was listening to a couple of scenarios, just one-off things, because the Tampa Bay Lightning had a historical regular season. And then we're done in 4 games because literally the only advantage they got over the 8 seed was, oh, hey, you get to play one more game at home during these 7 than these guys. So Congrats on having 30 more points in the regular season, but that's all you get. So a couple of the options thrown out, and I'll give you 2 here, Pags. Let me know which one you think would be more realistic or you would like to see, is that either A, in the first round, like the 1 versus 8, 2 versus 7s, the underdog has to win 4 games, and the Lightning only have to win 3 or 2 or less games just because, hey, you're the underdog, you should have to beat them more. Like double elimination, you get to the finals, we got to win twice instead of once type of thing, but in the playoffs. And the other one is that if you win the regular season, you automatically get a bye or 2 byes into like the conference finals, or like soccer, you have a first half winner and a second half winner, and they advance into like the second round of the playoffs, and everybody else plays to see who gets them, almost like byes in football for your top 2 or 4 seeds, something like that. Because like I mentioned, dude, 100 and some points in the regular season and you're gone in a week because you had one shitty week out of 6 months. It's just, that's tough.
I'm not into the winning less games. That seems too gimmicky for me. I'm more leaning towards the bye or something along those lines where you have a shorter series, like a 5-game series of wild card teams playing, something along the lines of like how baseball does it or football. But I just feel like if you get to the point where it's like, well, you only have to win 3 games, that's like, I don't know. It just seems too gimmicky for me.
It's just one of those things where clearly just get to the dance in hockey, be the 8th seed, because we've seen teams can have a shitty 8 days and boop, you're golfing, baby.
It's crazy, and it is part of the fun of whole hockey because basketball tends to go chalk most of the time, but you get to the hockey and anything can fucking happen. I just think it's hilarious that the 4 cities that are in, other than Boston, are San Jose, St. Louis, and Carolina. That just makes me laugh.
That's unbelievable, man. Pure hockey towns.
All the Canadian teams are golfing already, and it's like,
Oh, shit. That's the 5 for Fighting podcast. We'll talk to you guys next week when there are a few games into the finals. We'll see who's taking advantage of the home ice or who's started off with a commanding lead. But as always, this is Miho from Too Close to Call. We appreciate you guys listening. Give us a 5-star rating. We love the 32 of you who have done it already, but let's expand that number a little bit.
yeah, let's get to 100.
Oh, baby, that's a big goal, Pags. I love it.
A century mark.
Thanks, guys. We appreciate you listening. We'll talk to you soon.
Later, guys.
Peace.